Hello and welcome everybody to match 1 of day 2 of week 2 for your LTA coverage. We got Dignitas versus Cloud9. We got Kangas Kobe on the cast. We still haven't come up with a tag team caster name, have we?
I mean, I guess, okay, that sounds terrible, so we'll go with that. Because that's the point of those names, right?
That is the point of those, yeah.
Match them together, you get your duo like that.
Kangas does sound better, actually, now that you say it. Yeah, we should have gone the other way with it.
Okay, I think they're both bad, but...
You think Kangas is bad?
But that one is less bad. Zven and Isles, though, I just did a duo interview with them.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny, of course. Isles having history with Cloud9 is always fun. And Isles always talks so nicely about Zven and the time that they had together, especially last year. Sounded like they hang out a lot outside the game and actually got really close. So
it feels like that friendly X where it's like, yeah, it didn't work out, but you're still friends together.
Look at those smiles.
Yeah, they're smiling.
Smile.
But you might have noticed that things heated up with Jack and Isles earlier, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the grudge
ceremony got
continues.
spicy.
It did get spicy, yeah. That was some brutal smack talk that we heard between those two. But it's always great to see Isles. I mean, he's a player that's been around for quite a while in the scene at this point. I know that still some of these players, Coach Rigby has talked about like more of a rookie roster, but it's still players like Isles have been playing in Oceania, back on Mammoth for a couple of years before making it over here to the States in 2020 for Cloud9 Academy. So he's actually been in the system for quite a while, and I'm happy to see him get to go up and get the system. The Cloud9 system is where he kind of started here.
Yeah, he did learn those systems. That's another good meme.
That's an older one.
It's an old one, but it checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one should be a fun matchup here. Of course, Dignitas, they're the ones with a lot of work to do.
Yes.
One of these teams that have not won a game yet. And so if you could snag one off of Cloud9, that would be a huge upset. And again, we are really focusing on even just getting individual games as being pretty big accomplishments for a lot of these teams that have not won one yet, so that they can mix up those picks at the end as Jack has continued to go over on the
he loves hammering that in. So
he really does.
2-0 team.
He loves this format. I heard him say that. It's his favorite format he's ever seen in his life.
Off the record,
I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Yeah, something along those. I mean, he definitely likes to talk about it on camera a lot with the big graphics. It's a 2-0 team versus an 0-2 team. So expectations, I think, for a lot of us, if we had predictions, would be C9 2-0. I'm comfortable saying that one. I think that they are heavy favorites coming into this match. But like you had mentioned, Dignitas just getting a single win. They don't have to win the series. A single win means that they get a shake up some more of that standings and get a chance to play up against a lower seeded team.
Let's see if Photon is enough for them to take a game off of Cloud9. Isles has only won one game versus Cloud9 since their little breakup, so we'll see.
But you know what? We showed earlier on the Analyst Lounge, Photon has a winning record versus Thanatos in a very brief stint that they had in LCK Challengers versus each other. I believe it was a 5 wins for Photon, 2 for Thanatos. So if we're just looking at that, good news for Photon.
Okay, so you say top lane diff?
Top diff.
Give me my favorite champion. He said his signature champion is Gwen. But I feel like that might be risky to do versus Thanatos. Thanatos with counter pick, also very, very scary. Okay, never mind.
Wow.
Give me my signature champion.
Maybe you'll just pick it first.
I said just first pick it. Give me that. But the reason I think it's dangerous to do against Thanatos is because he is such a good Ambessa. It's not even like he's a very proficient and like pretty good. He is actually insane on Ambessa. And we have seen him carry so many games. And Kangas, if you're playing Ambessa, what is the one thing that you can miss? And it is your ultimate. And so in order to not miss that ultimate, you get a Vi on your team and you guarantee those picks. Like Ambessa and Vi is just so good at assassinating any of the carries with all the lockdown here. You can really set them up. So these Cloud9 1-2, I think there's a reason they insta-locked those, a very scary reason, but we'll see if Dignitas, with Photon on his signature Gwen. And then we're picking up the Ryze here for some more split push for them possibilities. Again, If you're playing some split push into Vi and Ambessa, though, you have to always worry about getting picked off when you're playing the map at wide.
Exactly. If you're ever alone in that side lane, it's very scary. I remember even Shopify last year had the Vi, Ambessa plus Yone combo. So it was the 3 ults going in on one. Maybe Cloud9 go for something like that. No, it's a different style of it. They have Orianna, Vi, an incredible ball carrier system for Orianna to get onto that backline.
Yeah, definitely some good synergies there. Got a lot of good ball delivery systems for your team fight.
BDS.
So they've got some more. They've got some more flexibility. Yeah, we've got our own BDS here, I guess. Let's get into the bottom lane, though. I'm hoping that we get more Yunara play because personally I've enjoyed that, and I'd always just like the new champions anyway. But probably not going to be in game number 1 because you really do want to pair Yunara with some sort of enchanter.
Yeah.
Like Lulu or something like that to really get the most out of it as one of those like hyper carry champions.
The Renata looked great yesterday with Jan playing it for Team Liquid, so I think that there's a couple options to go for, but I'm not expecting it as much in game 1. We had this whole segment yesterday where Emily was talking about the time to enchanters, the TTE stat, as it were. How many games before we get enchanters into pick and ban? And typically it's going to be more around
Karma
game 2
counts as one, and Karma's been banned, so...
so we're saying a ban counts as time to enchanter?
There you go.
Okay.
Because ban means they're fearful of it,
That's a good
They're
point.
fearful of the Karma-Ezreal combination, the poke lane, so they ban it out. Of course, the Bard as well. Like, that's one of the ones you can debate what type of label you want to put on Bard, because
he's like an Eldritch.
Bard is fairly unique, for supports. But clearly Dignitas are like, you know what? We're looking at a dive comp, so we need to take away the dive bottom lanes, and the Alistar Kaisa is exactly that.
But it does mean Neeko is up and available. Very powerful support. The clone being able to find vision, you being able to go for early dives, all kinds of tools that Neeko gives a team that might scare Dignitas away from further bot lane weakness. Yeah, so the thing about the Yunara into the Neeko is like, I find that Yunara really spikes more around that 2-item point, and if you have a rough laning phase, which Neeko can give you a rough laning phase, can be difficult. So instead it's going to be the Rakan for Dignitas.
But Yunara can splash around, and clones pose no problem.
Oh.
Right,
okay, you're still a believer then.
If you're looking at dive, you need some counter, counter here, and best AD carry versus the dive is going to be the Xayah Rakan combination, since the Karma was banned away from a possible Ezreal pairing. So that's what they're going to go with. Pretty safe stuff there for Isles and Tomo as far as trying to deal with the Vi and Ambessa that are coming for your head.
First picks for both of them in this split. It's only week 2, but already unique drafts as Sivir's locked in for Zven.
Yeah, Sivir's so popular now, especially because she does pair really well with all these, heavy engage where they're looking to get better positioning. If you Sivir speed up Neeko, Vi, and Ambessa, they're definitely going to deliver the Orianna Shockwave to the correct position. Definitely a very versatile farm champion here for Zven in the bottom side. I don't know, as far as our Isles Zven rivalry slash
bromance,
ex-partner bromance,
whatever you want to call it,
matchup down there. I don't expect there to be some early kills, but you know what? We can hope.
You never know. Hey, when sparks fly, Kobe. I'm not going to hold it against them if they want to go in on this one. But expectations, when I look at these compositions, I definitely see Cloud9 more as the aggressor. I'm curious your thoughts on that one. Just more tools to just dive in, make action happen.
Yeah, they definitely do have a lot of opportunities for scaling as well. But as far as action, if we're going to get it, I hope that it goes up towards top lane. Because we have Thanatos on his Ambessa versus Photon on his Gwen.
And this is Photon's first split in the LTA North. That was the big offseason move that Dignitas made. Surdy's out, Photon is in. There's a little bit of history between these two, and it has been Photon favored in the past. I like to keep our eyes up there as well.
Also, funnily enough, Surdy is back in, just on a different team.
They just saw him play yesterday. Looked great there.
Yeah, I love his, he shouted out his old organization a little bit as well, too. So,
he shouted them out a few times in different content pieces.
He did do that, didn't he? Okay, so Cloud9.
I'm putting microphones in front of pros. You never know what's going to happen.
Cloud9 versus Dignitas, though. We had the video at the beginning, and you were there.
I was there.
Kangas. You saw it happen in real life. The heat of the beef.
This is real footage right there. That happened.
I mean, honestly, it actually got out of hand. Jack got up there, and he said, we scrim Dignitas a lot. They've got some great players, and I'm excited to see how they do.
Dude, I can't believe an owner said that. I honestly can't believe an owner said that. Isles had a snapback. Let me tell you, we have tremendous respect for FlyQuest and C9. I think they would both be tough opponents. He name-dropped 2 teams on his hit list, and at the end there, it hasn't gone well for me so far, but maybe this time will be different. Hey, Isles, you know, it's never too. If you're at the bottom, the only way up is the only direction is up, right?
Sounds like there's truly insurmountable amount of animosity between these organizations.
Let me tell you, standing between Jack and Isles in that moment, I was worried for myself.
You know what? Me too. I'm always worried for you, Kangas.
Well, that's for a different reason.
All right, we've got
general.
We do have the ward over the back of the pit that sees where Sheiden is, though. So maybe that'll make Cloud9 a little bit less worried. They can just track this in Zhao pretty easily. They're going to assume that it's just going to be a clear up towards topside. And since Blaber is matching that, we might get what we wanted.
Yeah, action in the top lane.
Photon versus Thanatos up there. And they actually are fighting pretty heavily for that level 2. Thanatos is able to get away from that snip. It looked like a very good trade there for Thanatos with Electrocute. Really taking advantage. If you have Electrocute into the Conqueror Gwen here, going for the quicker trade, getting that little chunk of health, and then being able to escape right afterwards.
Yep. Theoretically, Photon can win the longer trades with Conqueror, but Thanatos is not giving those to him. Jumping in, jumping out, making great use of Ambessa passive, and just leaping around the battlefield.
Yeah. Gwen, of course, though, going to be able to push in during this. And if you are pushing there, you're going to have to worry about some timers because junglers, theoretically, you could skip some of your topside camps and go for an earlier gank up there. Blaber doesn't opt to do that. Of course, on Vi, you really do want to prioritize your farm, keeping up your experience, keeping at a very competitive level here. So Blaber is actually going for all his small camps first and then pick up the red afterwards, just so you have a smoother respawn on your second respawn for your Raptors and Krugs, so he can get to his level 6 as quickly as possible. I'm
going to keep my eyes on that top Scuttle Crab to see if the junglers go for that, though. Oh, it's bot side. Nice Tingle Barbs there from a Vulcan. Yeah, Blaber's actually passing away from it, so not going to look to contest that top Scuttle. Sheiden not only has Photon with the wave pushed in, but also Photon got that earlier back and TP'd with the cloth armor. So yeah, junglers just trading different sides of Scuttle.
That is the key. Photon for the early recall and using his teleport. How much value can Thanatos get before he has to use his? Seems like he should be able to get a much better purchase for himself as he can finish this up.
Big snip, but now bot side here, Blaber just showing on the wave. Flash out from Tomo, still hit by the Tangle Barbs. Easy first blood for Zven off the snipe of Vulcan.
Yeah, really good pressure from Blaber to come down here to the Sivir and Neeko lane that's pushing in. Look how many minions Tomo loses in addition to both summoner spells.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very good angle on the Tangle Bard from Vulcan. Vulcan played this really, really well for the dive. But Tomo just got blasted, man. That is so insanely bad for Tomo and for Dignitas. I mean, that single play right there, I mean, that probably has like twice as much value as a normal kill. Huge amount of CS denied here on the bottom side. They were already getting pushed in. I mean, that is just a massive early advantage for Cloud9. And
that's a BF sword.
It actually didn't cost Blaber that much at all, so nicely done from him.
Yeah, he was able to get the Scuttle Crab go right back to his farm. And notice, Kobe, they focused on Tomo, not Isles. Maybe sparks are flying between Zven and Isles still.
Yeah, there's a little bit more value in killing the AD carry, so they can't farm anymore. But you know what? Get that revenge.
Get that revenge. Wave's also in a tough spot here now as it's pushing back into Zven. You see a 14 CS advantage. That's over 2 waves plus the kill. Zven's coming back to lane with the BF sword, so things are looking really tough for Dignitas' bot lane, despite the fact that you had said maybe top is where we see action.
Yeah.
Blaber did find a really solid window to actually find that bot lane play.
Certainly did. And finishes up his second clear pretty speedily as well. Well on his way to that level 6. Needs a tiny bit more experience. So looks like he's going to cross back down Honestly, it's a very good idea for Blaber to just continue to play off bottom side since their advantage, as you say, a BF sword is quite a bit larger than the long sword.
And
so
before their level,
is a big sword, and that means you should be able to get Dragon guaranteed.
What does the BF stand for?
Big freaking sword.
Yes, big fighting sword.
Fighting.
Is what I was looking for. I want them
okay.
to fight because not level 6 yet for Tomo or Isles, and also no summoner spells on Tomo. You can repeat the dive if you actually want to. Ooh, topside flash out early from Thanatos.
Okay.
As the needlework comes in from Photon.
I mean, you have Ryze pings up to the top side. They could do some sort of realm war play. Maybe he's just going for fruit. I think the pings actually are just for fruit. So he gets honey fruit at least there for a little bit of sustain for Keine, who is doing pretty decently for himself. It's a little bit of a lead for Loki, but he's doing okay. Meanwhile, though, the Dragon just taken pretty easily there for Blaber and Cloud9. Gets him his level 6. His bottom lane is very, very healthy here.
That's almost twice CS.
Yeah, this is looking good. That turret play too. That is like one auto right there.
Are they gonna get it? Walk up.
Oh my goodness.
The minion auto. Oh, not quite.
He's pushing the wave. You know, it'll come.
Patience. It's a virtue, I hear.
That play is theirs. It just doesn't know it yet.
Well, let's say reset. All right.
Oh my god.
Now is Dig Big Brain, are they going to let the minions hit it when they're out of range so that they don't get the gold from it? No, it's still there. Okay, one more auto still.
It's so juicy. Okay, so
I would throw an entire solo queue game for that one auto.
They're actually leaving it.
I would do it.
They're leaving it. It's not even going to be Zven's plate. Look at that restraint from him. They're swapping. He's going up top side. So that plate has Thanatos' name written on it. And Thanatos now, with the Hex Drinker early rush for him, is going to provide the all-in potential versus this Gwen. So even though Thanatos' flash was blown by a good ulti usage there from Photon, definitely high value there. Of course, her ult's going to come back off cooldown pretty quickly here. Thanatos now with the Hex Drinker does have a lot more potential in the 1v1, but Blaber here is looking mid.
Isles very far up as Blaber has level 7, so Cease and Desist is available. Not going to go for the trigger pull, though. And I want to go back to that top lane matchup as actually it looks like we're setting up for the grubs, so let's keep our attention here for right now. The vision just cleared out by Blaber. But now another needlework onto Thanatos. No flash available this time. Use the public execution, jumping away from Photon. Thanatos well played to survive, but it's not going the way I expected. He is struggling in the 1v1. Meanwhile, Dignitas approach the grubs. Blaber smites away one of them, so no smite now. Tomo getting aggressive here with for the recall. Chain CC, lock him down. Blaber's taken out. Dignitas find a pick in the pit.
This is all very good for Dignitas here. Not only did Photon get some pretty good value out of bottom side, but also they just run through and Blaber gets stuck in the pit. I think he was trying to charge a Q at the back of the pit to get out, but he actually doesn't go for his flash either to get back out. Dignitas just rushed in. Sheiden didn't hesitate. He flashed in. Keine flashes, and very good for Dignitas to get that kill back. And the 2 grubs does mean you even up your objective count, even though you don't get number 3 for the Void Might, still nicely. So the Blade Caller there was very good from Tomo. Blade Caller locked him up long enough for the rest of Dig to flash in. And so that's how they get their kill. So Blaber was unable to get close enough to the back of the pit. Nicely done, Tomo.
Vulcan channeled the Pop Blossom, but didn't want to flash in for that to force the fight or any type of counterplay. So C9 still up in gold, but like you had pointed out, the 2 grubs for Dignitas means that towards feats of warfare, or rather feats of strength, they are now tied with C9 for that objective take. Currently, Dignitas' bot lane is back in the bot lane with AD carrying support against Thanatos now.
Yeah. Just looking at a dive on top side, actually, though, because Blaber is here, and he's got ulti.
Still has that Cease and Desist available, so Photon
Wait out the
in a
W.
world of hurt. Who's going to tank up the turret first? It is Vulcan, who will now walk out, use the heal. They're juggling the aggro, but they don't have enough damage for the kill. Blaber flashes away. Photon still alive. Vulcan might have enough if he can hit this Strangle Barbs. No, not going to get it. So Photon's out of there, burns the flash. And Litz, misses the needlework. Vulcan just dancing around him with the outplay, almost trades his life. Nobody goes down.
Oof, dangerous needles right there, but Zven's able to still get another plate, and that delays the recall from Photon even further. So that's going to be painful for the other side. Meanwhile, you had Thanatos backing off of that turret, and you see they're able to take a lot of turret plates on the bottom side for Dignitas. Only 1 and about a third of a turret plate left down there, so that rush for the first turret is alive and well too.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, I gotta give credit where it's due. Dignitas are playing this early game pretty well considering how far behind Tomo was. He just picks up his first item. Zven already had his completed there, but despite the fact that Zven got this big lead in the bot lane, Dignitas were able to fight at the grubs, absorb that plate top, get a lot of plate gold bot side. Dignitas are actually getting back into this game when it felt like C9 were set up for almost a blowout through their bot lane strength.
Yeah, nice stuff there, and we're still threatening for the possibilities of these realm warps from mid lane to roam, but doesn't look like they're going to commit to it at the moment. One more mid wave first, and of course it is a mountain drake, so those things take a while to kill. It's not like you can surprise do one, so they take a lot of setup here. Push on bottom side for Dignitas is going to allow them to do that though. They don't finish off the ward in the tri-brush, so Isles is going to go finish that one there.
Blaber's nearby as well, has that first completed item in the Sundered Sky, but no cease and desist yet. It'll be up in about 10 seconds time. Dignitas currently a little pincered here. Nice double barb from Vulcan.
Loki's trying to walk over from mid lane here, but again, the Realm Warp allows Keine a few more options for joining.
All right, they back off, so we're not going to fight over the dragon. Instead, Blaber is just going to start it up, leash it out, and Sheiden looks like he's not actually interested in contesting this. Keine, meanwhile, mid lane, took a shockwave to the face off camera and down to sliver of a health bar, but Loki doesn't quite have enough to really force out the kill.
Yeah, Cloud9 pressure though allows them free dragon. Dignitas calling it off as you say, and Sheiden just going back to farm. So number 2 here, C9 continuing to stack that power. Talking of stacking as well, picking up the Yuntao for Zven, stacking away on that Sivir.
Very early Young Tao off of the early kill, plus just multiple waves shoved in. But I want to talk about something that Inspired actually mentioned yesterday when we interviewed FlyQuest. He was playing the Zhao into the Vi matchup, and he was saying, you know, I felt like we could have fought for those early dragons. We just gave up one of those. He actually died on the approach. I'm getting similar feelings here in that Sheiden and the rest of Dignitas are just allowing C9, especially that second dragon, to take it. Curious your thoughts on that. If you're a jungler in this type of game, what's your thought process from Sheiden's
I think it was
side?
just too dangerous for Dignitas there because the Loki had the inside route for mid lane, so their mid lane pressure of a Vi with ultimate and an Orianna coming over is too much because you can focus down that target really quickly. So I think that they just did not want to fight it. It's just too much pressure from mid lane and bottom lane coming over and kind of bleeding in to the setup for that dragon. So Cloud9, rightfully so, kind of flex it, and they just go for stacking their objectives here. Meanwhile, Dignitas' answer after Sheiden continues to clear up to the top side.
3 members up here. And Thanatos is back to safety. He's absolutely fine. They had Isles nearby, so maybe they could have gone for a dive, but the wave was not ready for them. Meanwhile, Blaber's actually bot side here. Keine flash just came off cooldown.
Yeah, it's the Ryze just takes still a bit longer, even though it was buffed up.
Okay, we're committing. Cease and desist. We're going all in on him. Keine will have to try and flash to get out of this one, and he will. I like that from Blaber. Just force out the summoner spell. Meanwhile, Thanatos taking the 1v1. Missed the public execution. Might not need a needlework. Doing a lot of work for Photon. Gets back to safety. Thanatos almost found that solo kill.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're just going to finish off this bottom side tower. So there you go for Cloud9. First tower achieved. They just need 1 more objective or 2 more kills. But it's also like Ryze still going with you know, the Rod of Ages and Tyr. It's like take a little bit of time to really power up. Meanwhile, the Orianna with just the Ludens and the Sork shoes early on. That's a lot more burst damage there as far as taking down a single target, especially since you do have such good delivery systems for your Orianna shockwaves. Should make it easy for Loki to hit those. He's level 11 now, so it's rank 2 shockwave, and Luden's burst plus the magic penetration there does feel good. But Sheiden is starting up this Riptail, and I think they should be able to finish it. Blaber's just going to continue farming, so.
Loki has to catch his top wave, and because of that, yeah, they don't have that combo you were just talking about set up right now. That means a Herald picked up. Again, equalizing the neutral objective trade. C9 do have that earlier turret, though, so it could come down to also who gets the first 3 kills. One big scrap at an objective or a couple picks in the side lane can get you that feats of strength.
Yeah, full Maw the Malmortius upgraded too for Thanatos as well. So we saw the duels. They're getting pretty exciting between Photon and Thanatos, although neither has actually been able to kill the other yet. But it's been getting closer.
Yeah, it is getting much closer. I thought maybe would have to flash here if Loki went for the shockwave. Not going to do it. But I actually love that build from Thanatos because you're against double AP solo laner. So no matter who you're up against, you're going to get value out of that.
Yeah. Pretty often now, too. Double AP solo laner is getting very, very popular. But Sheiden is here as well, so you've got some AD threat. The Xin here joining Photon, so we might actually see one of the top laners fall soon. Blaber, of course, is on Gromp. So a little bit too dangerous, and even though they have the control ward here in Tribrush, just going to continue on their own side of the map.
And we have the bot laners now in the mid lane doing the classic, just shove waves back and forward between each other. Sivir will almost always get that priority first, just based on the kit, and then Tomo will answer it in kind here. Next Dragon's up in 45 seconds. That is where I'm going to put my attention to here because C9 have been stacking those. This would put them on Soul Point very early in the game. We're not even 17 minutes. Is Keine actually in some trouble here topside? Remember, doesn't have the flash from the earlier gank. Blaber setting himself up for the kill.
Very clean there from Blaber. Doesn't give him any time to react. Make sure he's going to get it with his flash. And there's not going to be any time for any reinforcements from Dignitas to arrive either.
No.
He just wanted to make that play as quickly as possible. So he invests his flash, assassinates Keine, gets the solo tower gold for Loki. Cloud9 just kind of marching ahead here.
The tempo of this play is incredible because we get the kill. Blaber's going to be able to reset, get to the bot side. Loki gets the turret, can reset.
And he still has his ulti for the team fight because he used his flash to kill off Keine and saved his ulti. He can use the ulti with the Orianna.
And that means Orianna without the ultimate, but it will be up shortly. They still have enough damage with Pop Blossom, with Ambessa ulting in, that they can threaten Dignitas. I really like that teleport from Loki and the rest of Cloud9. Create space so that Dignitas cannot collapse. Now they're continuing that space. Vulcan on the other side of the wall flashes into the Dragon pit, says, okay, let's reposition with the team. Dignitas have the Herald mid lane, but Dragon's already under half health. Big chunks onto Dignitas members. Flash away from Loki to avoid the engage. Isles can't make contact with anybody, but Sheiden and Photon are into the pit. Public execution might just save Blaber. Long enough to get the Dragon. It's not. Sheiden takes him down. Steals the Dragon away. C9 will pick up one kill on Keine on the top half and then clean up Sheiden. But mission accomplished. Dig took the Dragon.
Okay, so you get Dragon, but Cloud9 got an extra kill. And I guess there's not that much else to take on the map, so it's fairly close right there. I mean, a lot of flashes expended too. Of course, Photon and Sheiden both using theirs inside the pit. But let's take a look at how it started out, because inside the pit, Photon just goes in here, puts off his W, starts popping his ult, and it's a 2v1 initially with Thanatos. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Isles almost got completely bursted down there right at the beginning, but after Sheiden goes in to join there, they do kill off Blaber, which allows for the secure of the Dragon. But there's only one way in. Since Xin invested the flash already, is going to give over the extra kill and the extra little bit of money to Cloud9. But as you say, you know, kind of now that you don't have to worry about such an early timeline on the Soul, maybe that will, you know, give them the time that they need for Dignitas.
Taking Keine off the map for a little bit, though, did feel good for C9. He's falling very far behind here. Now, almost 30 CS behind Loki, plus 2 deaths to Loki's 2 kills and 1 assist. And C9 are up 2.5 thousand gold. So when you do look at the extended play, C9 are still feeling very solid about where they are in this game.
Yeah, a lot of minions were cleaned up by Zven after that fight as well. I believe he went over towards mid lane, and there was a big, like, couple waves pushing there. So the Sivir continues to eat, and the Sivir has the IE already. So 2-item crit power spike here.
Hungriest champions in the game, Cho'Gath, Tahm Kench, Sivir, weirdly enough. Yeah.
Sure, her stomach is actually quite large. Deceptively small model on the body.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, have you ever seen like those professional eating contests?
Yeah,
they're not always
sometimes
like that
it's
large.
The small ones.
Sometimes the small ones you gotta watch out for. Yeah, yeah. True. All right, well, that's Sivir in a nutshell right there. 1-0-2 with Infinity Edge completed with the Young Tall arrows. So Zven is hitting the point where, like, at the moment you look at a wave, it's just delete it, and also in team fights, you're going to be doing a lot of spread out damage.
The bouncing crits are not the deadliest, because the main crit is actually
do less
the deadliest.
damage. Yeah, I have read that in the past.
But they are effective. So let's take a look at the Otacon setup here, because that one's getting pushed in. And of course, Photon and Thanatos both have their teleports, so they could join if the fight actually does start. And that ward in the Tri-Brush here on the Dignitas side is pretty deep for a possibility of a flank.
That would be Thanatos we're looking at for that one. He's catching the bot wave currently, but has an avenue in if Dignitas want to start this Otacon.
Tomo going to push the wave, though, so they'll get some early priority on it. Looks like they have to have Keine catch mid-wave for a little bit, but he can rotate over easily.
And Vulcan throwing out the clone to push back Tomo and the rest of Dignitas. Otacon was aggroed, but not going to be committed by either team here. It's just the dance around the objective. You can never drop your vision there, because the moment you do, the enemy team can try and sneak it.
I hate how Otacon casts outside of range and just stays out there. The most annoying objective for sure.
I mean, we even did like a 1v1 in Otacon fight bit between players yesterday. They didn't even fight in the pit, but Otacon was up there in top lane with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the days when the grubs were all tethered together? And so then you could get this thing where like one of the grubs would be so far away, because if another one was still within the patience, then the far away grub would not reset.
And so I never saw that.
At the very beginning, even in LTA game, we had a grub like all the way up at that top side tower.
That is beautiful. No, I missed out on those experiences, but I'm not missing out on this potential team fight. C9 starting up the Otacon here. It's always a magnet for teams to come in on. Isles jumps over the wall, just get a ward down, but going to be cleared out here. Dignitas approaching Thanatos as well. He's TPing not to the forward ward, but instead going to be more of a front to back for C9. Remember, their combo, big damage from Loki onto Tomo. Pop Blossom, everybody focusing down the AD carry for C9. Meanwhile, they're losing their jungler. Blaber falls. Thanatos, public execution onto Keine. At least picks up one, but Photon cleans him up. Shut down. Both junglers fall. C9 win the fight in the top lane. Dig win the fight in the river.
Yeah, Cloud9, they get the bigger advantage. They've got the extra member up here, but they're not going to go for the Otacon because they don't have a smite. And so it's still just going to be push out afterwards. We're going to have to return for a repeat fight. Dragon is also coming up on the other side of the map. So you have that little consolation prize available. Let's take another
Loki
look
plays
at it.
So well with Vulcan in tow. Like, look at them force the ult out of Tomo.
Yeah, Tomo immediately then snapped up by Vulcan and just deleted by Loki. So that won them the top side of the fight. And then the bottom side of the fight, Blaber actually went down really early. And so Thanatos ends up dropping in the aftermath as well. But because, as you say, Vulcan and Loki...
Yeah.
Because they were able to delete Tomo so quickly, get the ult out, and then instantly kill him, Cloud9 end up winning the day, but Otacon still survives.
It is still available, and C9 can just look for it again. You hear it in that little sound by Blaber saying, yeah, shouldn't have gone in on the Ryze, because C9 split their focus across two different fights, but now back to live, they still have the confidence to go forward onto this Otacon. Dignitas, meanwhile, are on the Dragon, so it looks like it's just going to be a trade of objectives.
And that's way, way, way better for Cloud9. Of course, the Otacon value is so much more than a single Dragon. Even if that Dragon would get you to soul points, you'll take Otacon every single day of the week. So much experience as well as adaptive force. Because it's not like, oh, look, we have 19 petals now and they're empowered. It's also that, well, you deny them from your opponent getting them. So we'll see. The on-kill kind of explosion effect too is I think a little bit underrated.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people forget about it, and it can lead to chain kills, especially if you have a Ambessa and Vi thing here with a lot of engage.
It turns into like resets almost, where it's like the Jinx effect, where
little explosions.
Yeah, slowing down everybody once you get that first kill, chase down the next kill, especially with a Sivir on the hunt speed up.
I will say though, that death cap is very close to getting completed.
Ooh.
This is Loki at over 2.2K gold lead. And when that gold lead turns into a death cap, believe me, somebody is going to have the Otacon death on kill effect because that is so much damage there.
Yeah.
I mean, Loki, you already saw how they deleted Tomo in the previous fight.
Yeah.
And so now, if a death cap gets completed for that shockwave, Loki can delete multiple people.
And the only lead for Dignitas right now is in the top lane. I want to bring our attention up there because while early game there was some action, no like crazy kills traded back and forward, we have seen Photon throughout these fights getting multiple kills, you know, staying even in CS, despite blind picking the Gwen. Kobe, this is his pick. This is his comfort. This is what he said coming into the split. Like, hey, if there's one champ you should know me for as LTA North fans, think about my Gwen. And now this is back-to-back series, locking it in first pick. And I'm starting to believe. Like, I get why Photon loves this pick.
Yeah, for sure. Despite Dignitas being behind, Photon is looking good on his new squad here. I think it's going to be pretty hard for him to do much versus this Cloud9 setup, though, because Orianna, the other thing is, while you have a lot of damage and Dignitas is starting up this Baron,
probably just
Orianna, if you get the death cap completed, you also provide really big shields to your team. But this thing is burning down. They're getting the teleports out, and they're still...
But they also teleported Photon in, so they got their own TP along with C9's TP. Now they have to run, but now they're grouped up for C9 to look for the engage. C9 will not actually pull the trigger on it. Interesting move from Dig.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, they trade the TPs. They did have the wave, like, kind of pushed on bottom side, but it's not like it's dying to tower quite yet. Cloud9 still have some time to react. Zven will push in on mid, and it looks like that's going to be about it. I guess a bit of that wave is dying to the top tower, or the bottom tower at the moment.
They lost about half health mid on that turret. Tomo also losing health, and they're just roam warping Sheiden into C9. Immediately Stranglethorn and C9 will just chase them down. Dignitas are going to want a refund on that engage. C9 were ready.
Zven with his classic question mark frog right after that one. You know, it sounds cool when you talk about it theoretically.
James like, I got Crescent Guard, I'm fine.
But Cloud9 just turn and burn. They immediately deleted him. Okay, so that's going to be the Baron for sure.
Okay, well...
and you will not turn off of that Baron.
No.
You will just burn it.
Dignitas are going to try and push in bot side, maybe get a tier 2 turret for this. They do have a wave coming in, but no, it's just not far enough up. It's not big enough. And C9 just get away with a donated play. I can't wait for the replay of that to think, what was Dignitas' angle? Maybe they didn't think C9 was all grouped up there?
Take another look here. Okay, from their vision, there's just spam pinging on it because they want to get him right on top of Zven, but yeah, they didn't even get close. They didn't even get close to Zven, and they're right in onto the Neeko as well.
The Tangle Barbs just hits 2 members.
I mean, Vulcan really has been smurfing this game. I feel like, though.
Yeah.
You know, Blaber did good job to go down bottom for the like tower dive. But remember at the very beginning too, the Tangle Barbs that he hit and Tomo flashed, Tomo ghost and flashed really early on, and Vulcan was still able to get them that kill and get Zven really fed really early on.
And now, I mean, at this point, C9 already had the gold lead. And off of that great counterplay from Vulcan, they're going to take a tier 2 turret with their Baron empowered play, get Tomo's ultimate out, take a tier 2 turret, and Dignitas' map is melting around them. 6.2 thousand gold lead for C9, and they're going to push for even more as they take a tier 2 bot.
Yeah, I mean, they can take everything on the map. The Dragon is already theirs, basically. They can just push on in with this Baron buff, make the most of their siege timer here. And looks like Thanatos was kind of chasing around Photon, but you can't stay on a Gwen because she can just jump over the walls. So Photon will escape. While the rest of the team, that tower can't escape. That thing is slowly going down.
They got 2 cannon minions on it, about to be 3. Turret's just going to fall to the 2, though. Dignitas cannot hold their bottom line, as now Photon has regrouped with the team. Dignitas can potentially look for something while Thanatos isn't with the core of C9 if they find a 5v4 window here. But Thanatos is so close that it's so dangerous for Dignitas to pull that trigger. Look at all the vision that C9 have as well. Dragon's up. They're just going to walk back and get that. You said it yourself, Kobe. They can take anything that they want on the Rift right now.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from Miles at the beginning of the day. He was like, yeah, it hasn't gone that well for me in my matchups versus Cloud9.
He did admit that, yeah.
Since being off the team, but maybe it will be different this time. Well, not this game, maybe next game.
Yeah,
because Cloud9 right now, they're just the inventory value is just too high. So Dragon number 3 picked up. Dignitas trying to group up, trying to look for their 5-person, catch some sort of person rotating or something like that. Get some vision down for yourselves, but I guess the hope is Photon at the moment.
He really is the only saving grace, and that was what we kind of expected for Dignitas going forward. Very young roster in terms of overall experience. Photon coming in with a lot more of that as more of a veteran voice for the squad now. And
yeah, Rigby was very complimentary
of
Photon.
So I think that naturally we'll look to him for more in-game strategies for the team, but also here, the only one with a gold lead for the team, 2-0-1. Keine has to flash away from the public execution from Thanatos. And Kaine's flash has just been perma on cooldown, as now Dignitas full commit, everything onto Loki, who has the Zonius, goes to the stasis, still shut down. Dignitas found their pick. Have a 5v4 C9 reposition. Sheiden goes forward though. It looked like the rest of Dignitas were not ready for that, and will just trade the kill back. C9 pick up one, flash forward for Vulcan, catching out Keine now into his own stasis, but everybody from C9's ready to collapse. Zven on a rampage, C9 get another kill.
That was a very short-lived one-kill comeback for Dignitas.
That was very short-lived.
That was a very short-lived one. And it might actually result in the game.
Photon still has his Zonias, I do believe. He's trying to survive under the turret, keep it alive, goes into stasis now, but the turret is not long for this world. He flashes to safety. They got Thanatos, but it's traded for Photon. Tomo pops up the ultimate blade caller onto 2, takes out Blaber for the double kill. Dignitas still got some fight left in them.
All right, Tomo collecting some gold here on the Xayah. Still going to lose the inhibitor, but Isles has some ideas.
He's all alone. I think he's taking a little window here to get vision down.
There's 15 seconds on Kaine's revive, and he does have teleport, but that would be such a long chase and like harassment. You would have to like interrupt the recalls and buy more and more time and still get the teleport. So gonna give up on that. That's gonna be the end of that play. The base is wide open now with inhibitors down on top side and bottom side, but here's another look at how they did get a good pick and fully are able to delete Loki even after the stasis is used. Nicely done there. But then, as you said, Sheiden charged in one more time. A very audacious charge, if you may say so.
Someone would say that.
Quickly punished.
And then, unfortunately, I mean, Keine had just flashed right before that replay because of the public execution from Thanatos. So you can see Loki there realizing, okay, I was the magnet. I gave over a big shutdown, but at least the team was able to find something for the play. Now 3-1-5 with 3 items completed.
Yeah, and those are the types of plays that you have to make if you're doing toss. You're like, all right, we got a full send on someone who is split pushing here on one of these side lanes. Just get everybody there, and hopefully Isles on the Rakan can make the engage quick enough. Keine does use Realm Warp to escape.
And I want to point out that while Isles getting back on the map fast, I'm going to imagine that it was Isles' wards that they got down here around the Baron pit, because you want to make sure that you have those while C9 are not on the map. Baron is spawning right now, and those wards are just cleared out, so not as many angles in for Dignitas anymore.
Nope, not looking like any good angles for them in, unless they just run straight forward. That thing's dropping very quickly, 7,000 health and dropping.
It might have to be a fight after the objective goes down, unless Sheiden can get into the pit. He has an angle. C9 are going to stop aggroing the Baron. Photon's up there. Is that Shockwave used? No, Loki still has it available on that. Isles with the big flank around the side. Is Dignitas ready to collapse? They're all running away because
vision.
C9 are pushing Dig back. Tomo took too much damage, so Baron's still aggroed right now, but C9 get onto Sheiden. He flashes into the pit for a desperation steal. No steal to be had. C9 take out the jungler, they'll take out the Baron.
Okay, so that looks really funny, but well done by Cloud9 by stopping the Baron at like 2,500 health. It's kind of tantalizing, right? It's like right there in front of you, and Dignitas' only hope really is like stealing Baron. So Shaiden's over there, he's like, it's so close, like, get me some vision, go around the outside, Isles. But Cloud9, they stopped at a good amount of health left, so it's just too much to continue to burn down. But Shaiden's like, you know what, all right, whatever.
You gotta try something.
I'm only going, there's one way left, and then
it's not like you saving your flash is going to save this game at that point. C9 get the Baron. They're going to march this wave in. They got 2 waves hitting the Nexus turrets. Dignitas still don't have a jungler up. It's going to be a miracle mounted defense. They got to look for some kind of engage here onto C9. Now they have 5 members up. Photon decides to lead the charge. He's going forward as Isles finds an engage onto 2 different members, but he gets chunked out heavily in response. The Nexus turrets fall. C9 just walking forward with confidence with a 10,000 gold lead with the early game, mid game, late game, all in their favor. C9 take down Dignitas at the base in style. Pop Blossom from Vulcan, pad the stats, get the kills. KDA up. Game 1, C9.